the CEO of Ford, Jim Farley, he is saying that there are 600,000 empty stalls in our dealerships and no technicians to work in them. And he said that during a discussion in a town hall. Unbelievable. I think he's talking about 600,000 empty stalls across Ford dealerships around the whole world. Farley, he is saying, when my team and I travel to places like Germany, China, and Korea, we see that we're pretty far behind. Farley said, they get it. What they do is invest. If anything comes out of today, it's that we need to figure out how to invest in the people who build things. He's saying that the problem in our nation is the hesitancy of people to get into trade jobs. Okay, as a society, we need to reward this type of work. Now, Dane, I have 5 suggestions on how to get people back into dealership jobs. Now, I know the Ford CEO, he is trying to train people to come into the industry, and that is a good idea. But I think there is a missed opportunity in people who have already been mechanics and who might want to come back under the right conditions. Dane, I have 5 ideas for how to get people to come back to being mechanics, people who have already done it
Hmm.
and they got sick of it. And the number one suggestion, or I'll just go through all 5 real quick, then I'll go into detail. Number 1, I would think most people would prefer to get paid salary instead of flat rate. Number 2, I suggest more teamwork and sharing of tools. Number 3, air conditioning. I used to hate working at the dealership when it was super hot outside. I used to hate it. Too hot. I want air conditioning.
Yeah, I hear you.
Number 4 is I would like more video service manuals instead of having to read them. And number 5, which Farley talked about in the article, investing in future technologies as far as AI and using AI to help technicians with repairs. And I'm going to suggest using something like the Meta AI sunglasses, customized for mechanics. Unbelievable. Dane, do you agree with the first one, switching to salary? What do you think about that?
Um, I think
At least
uh,
for the newer technicians and some people who want it. Some people
y-
who wanna stay flat rate, just let them stay flat rate. Some
yeah, I
love
think
it, most people hate it. What do you
yeah,
think?
I think hourly or salary is decent, especially for new technicians to get people in. But once you're a seasoned vet, flat rate is freaking awesome because there's guys that can make 60 hours a week pay on their 40-hour work week. If they get really good at a certain type of job, let's say it's replacing a bad engine mount or something, on a certain vehicle, like there's a recall on them. Well, that guy's going to want every single one of those that comes in the dealership because he knows every tool that he needs. He's got them all laid out. He can do that job in half the time, and he's going to get paid full time for that. That's how flat rate works.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
if something screws up, he still only gets paid for whatever the job pays, even if it takes him twice as long. So that's the risk you run. But there's a lot of seasoned veteran technicians that want flat rate for that reason. They can make a lot more money.
Yeah, I agree. Some people do like flat rate. I liked it at first when I was working at a Honda dealership, but
Hmm.
then it just got to be a pain in the butt because sometimes I can't change anything if not a lot of cars even come in the dealership now. So
Hmm.
that's why I would do a mixed situation. I don't like to force people into a specific box.
Yep.
Some people want flat rate, let them stay flat rate and do their thing, breeze through the repairs that they're good at. Some people like myself who like to get into the harder repairs, who don't mind the head scratchers, the cars that other people don't want to fix because they're pains in the butts, the times when you have to take half the car apart and put it back together. Those flat rate guys, they don't want to do that half the time. That is for nerds like me, and I would like to just get paid salary and just do it. You have
Yeah.
one final comment, Dane?
Yeah. On that one specifically. So that in those situations where you get the head scratcher, there's a lot of times a shop will have a diagnostic fee, and it's not usually a lot of money, 150 bucks, maybe $200 on the high end for a diagnostic fee. But sometimes it takes days or a day or more. And if that's all you're charging, you're losing your butt. And so sometimes when you have one of these issues and the shop's like, I can't figure it out, or I think it's this, and then it's not that. And then they're like, well, I
Yeah.
don't care, take it somewhere else. That leaves a bad taste in the mouth of the owner of that vehicle.
Yeah.
They're like, this shop's stupid. They couldn't do it. Took it to another shop. They couldn't do it. Well, part of it is how the system's structured, right? Because if they're getting paid on a flat rate and then a guy just wasted a full day on, and only got paid $200 for his diagnostic fee, or really he's only getting part of that, because the shop's got to take that, then he didn't make anything all day long. He doesn't want to deal with it. So if you got paid a salary or you paid hourly for those types of situations, it make guys want to take the time to actually figure it out right, and it give them the time to do it, and
Yeah.
want to do the good job. When they're getting rushed, it's not good for the customer.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what we think. The second one is air conditioning. I want air conditioning in the shop. I know it's expensive, especially in super hot shops. Dane, briefly, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you. You kind of get used to working in the hot when it's hot for a while, but when it's up and down and all over the place, what I think's worse is when it's in the winter and like all the doors will be closed and it's heated, but then cars are coming in and out all day long, so the doors are always open and they're closed again, and they're open and they're closed again, and it
Yeah,
just, man, it sucks. So, but you have the same problem when it's hot and you do have an air conditioned shop. Doors open, doors closed, doors open, doors closed. There's sometimes 15, 20 garage doors at a dealership, and if they're opening and closing multiple times a day, I mean, it's up and down all over the place. It just kind of
yeah.
is what it is. You get used to it over time, but it's a
You'd rather have
inconvenience.
it, right?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
it's nice when you're in a situation like I am, and I'm doing it. I'm the only guy in my shop, so I can keep everything very controlled. It's nice. But when there's other people on their schedule, got to do their things up and down, in and out. I mean, you guys get in each other's way.
yeah. It's rough. All right.
Yeah.
The next one is teamwork and sharing. I think personally, if people were getting paid, most of them anyway, getting paid salary, if they could work on a team for certain jobs, I think that would be very helpful. Dane, remember when we saw the technicians in Africa who were working on cars just outside? But
Hmm.
it was like 4 or 5 different guys working on the car at the same time. They were getting those repairs in and out. And one of them commented, he was like, "Yeah, we get those cars done as a team, and they stay fixed." And he had
Hmm.
pride in that. So, yeah, briefly, what do you think? A little bit more teamwork on especially bigger jobs. What do you think?
Yeah, bigger jobs for sure. There's jobs where you don't really want anyone else in your way. There's a kind of one person job, so it'd be very
True.
specific, especially if a vehicle needed multiple repairs and that wasn't just in for, let's say, front brakes, something real simple. Let's say it had an engine miss and a stumble, plus it also needed like the muffler replaced and it needed like wheel bearings. Well, you could have a couple different guys doing stuff while somebody's trying to figure out the engine miss, right? So
Exactly.
that, yeah, that makes sense. I think teams work really well for bringing new guys on too, and kind of, having an experienced technician take the newer technician under his wing and,
Yeah.
teach them that way as well.
Yeah, exactly. I remember one time when I was working at AAA, we had to get a fuel pump done really
Hmm.
quick. And I was like, I'd just become a master tech. My boss, who was the shop foreman, was also a master tech for like 10 years. We got that fuel pump done in under 15 minutes. It was so because we didn't even have to like coordinate that much. Like we both knew exactly what to do, and we got it in and we got that done faster than a freaking oil change. And it was one where you dropped the tank too, so it wasn't an easy one.
Yeah, it's nice when you got two guys that know what needs to be done, and you can stay out of each other's way, but also work efficiently.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
was just perfect. We didn't
that's
even have to
awesome.
communicate that much. It was like we were had mental telepathy.
Yeah.
All right,
And
next one. I would like more video service manuals. I was doing some automotive nerd research. I saw some of these TSBs for Honda bearing repairs. The TSB is over 100 pages. This is ridiculously
yeah.
long. They've got 100 pages, 60 pages, and then they got words, a little picture. I remember when I was working at Cummins, I suggested putting more video into the service manuals. Just have somebody doing it, and you just see it with the video, then you're like, oh, okay, now I know how to do it. I mean, I know you need words for some repairs where you have to like have a trouble tree, but I think a lot of at least the uh, remove and install things, it could be very easily done with video. What do you think, Dane?
Yeah, so it's a major expense for manufacturers to do this. So I
That's what they said
understand.
at Cummins, but I don't think so. Like they when they wanted to do it at Cummins, not to cut you off, Dane, but
Yeah.
they wanted to have like it was a freaking movie set. They wanted lights and camera and a director. I'll just get one guy with a phone holding the phone, the other guy doing it. Just you could have the thing done in an hour. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Dane. I'm
it
sorry.
doesn't need to be that in depth. And I'm sure anybody listening has seen like how-to videos on YouTube. Like they
Yeah.
need to fix a thing. The video is 20 minutes long, but the fix is 2 minutes long. Why the hell is the video 10 times longer than it needs to be? Because the guy's got to tell you about his day and some other problems that he had with his car, and his girlfriend was mad at him, and his cat needs to be fed. Like nobody cares. And so
Yeah.
I actually used to do this exact thing at the company I used to work for before I started doing my own thing. And
Yeah.
we called those videos just the meat. And my idea was this exact thing was like you go to these how-to videos, how do I change an alternator? And it's 30 minutes long, but the job takes two. Like, I'm not going to give you all the crap you don't need. This bolt, this wire here, put it back on, you're done. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds of instructions and the rest is done. And anyways, we did a whole series like that, was on different repairs or installations. And sometimes it was just tech tips or frequently asked questions, but dude, just quick hitters. Like that's all these need to be. Like for
Yeah.
a wheel bearing, how many bolts are there, right? There's like 3 or 4 people. They're all press assemblies or 3 or 4 bolts. This bolt, this bolt, this bolt. Knock it out with a hammer. These are the torque specs for the new
Yeah.
bolt.
Show the tools. Show the
Right,
tools you
you're
use.
right. Yeah, tell them what it needs to be. It's like this size Torx or it's this whatever, and just something super simple. It doesn't need to be more than 30 seconds or a minute long.
Yes, exactly. I learned that with some of my videos. Like people love it when you get right to the point and show them exactly what they need to see, and then that's it. All right, the next and last tip is and Farley touched on this, which is good. I believe a lot of this is going to be happening. Now, Dane, they have these Meta AI sunglasses,
Hmm.
and you could talk to the sunglasses and tell it when to record. You could just say, Meta, take a recording, and it'll start recording. There's little cameras in the sunglasses. I think that would be good for mechanics. They also have the new sunglasses that just came out, the Meta 2s. They have like a little display that it'll show right in the glasses. I
Hmm.
think that could be helpful to where, let's say, and I did my internship at Ford on their technical hotline,
Hmm.
and they would have technicians call in or email in their problem, and we would email them back or call them back. But if you had these glasses, maybe you could have the glasses see exactly what you're looking at. The person on the other end of the line, the tech line, the service engineer, sitting in his service cubicle in Michigan, could see exactly what the technician sees. And then he said, okay, stop. And then he might be able to display something on the glasses. I mean, this is next generation stuff. I
Yeah.
believe they're probably working on this. I think this will be way better than the 100-page service manuals, and it'll be very quick communications. Dane, what do you think about my crazy idea?
It's not a crazy idea, and it's already being done. To be honest,
Uh,
so like Toyota Material Handling, that's like the forklifts and that kind of stuff that they produce, manufacture. They're technicians that you would, if you're at a dealership, need to call into Toyota and talk to. Those guys have software like that where you use your phone. So you use the camera on your phone, you're talking to them, and you're pointing it at whatever you're working on. And the technician can say, stop, hold it right there, the guy on the phone. Stop, hold it right there, and he can circle and say, this is the area you need to go into, pull in.
okay.
Right. And
Yeah.
so while you're sitting here holding your phone, and looking at the screen, the guy at Toyota is linked up to you and he can draw on that, point in, zoom,
Nice.
say, here, look at this, back up that color wire right there, or whatever. Right. So they have,
Mhm.
yeah, they have software like that right now. And with the glasses coming and stuff, it's only going to get, it gives you more ability when that stuff comes in as well. So
Only going to
it,
get better.
it's
All
only
right.
going to get better. Yeah.
All right, good idea, Dane, or good point, Dane. So that's what we got for the technician shortage. This is a problem that can be solved. This is a problem that can be solved, and I believe people will be coming back to the dealership
I got one
soon,
more.
hopefully. Go ahead, Dane.
Well, so we kind of talked about how to get guys back in the dealership, but what about getting new, young, fresh people into it? And
Yeah.
I think where they really went wrong was about 30 years ago when they started forcing 4-year colleges down, you know, kids like us throat, right? Do you remember that when you were in
Oh, that's
like
all I heard growing up. Oh, you better go to college or you're
gotta
gonna
go get a
be
4-year
homeless.
degree, or you're gonna be a loser. And
Yeah,
I wanted
right.
nothing to do with that nonsense.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah,
and
they
I'm glad
gotta
I got into the trades, but it was like, "Oh, you're just gonna work on cars. Oh, you're just gonna work on trucks."
mhm.
Like, the dumbest thing, but, like, starting salaries now are, like, $35 an hour for diesel techs.
Yeah, no
Starting,
joke.
right? Experienced guys, 50 bucks an hour. That's good money.
That's what you need for $100,000 a year,
E
which is what is needed in some areas as far as expenses. So
Exactly. So stop forcing the 4-year college stuff down kids' throats. Like, you can go work right away out of high school, and a lot of times these dealerships, if they're any good, they're going to pay for your education if they want you to have more. You're going to learn a ton on the job anyways. You
yeah,
want certifications like ASCs, a lot of times they'll pay for that stuff. So
yeah, exactly.
take advantage of that.
I like that. I also like 2-year community college
Yep.
degrees. I love Community College of Philadelphia. My alma mater. One of the best decisions I ever made
Yep.
was going there. I swear that is the truth. But that's what we got for that story.